Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. I laughed when Sarah said it, but my stomach twisted the moment the words left her lips. Maybe we should do a spontaneous Vegas weekend, she said, grinning across the kitchen island, swirling her coffee like she hadn't just dropped a grenade between us. You know, before we get too boring. I froze with the knife halfway through a tomato. The sound of the clock ticking against the wall suddenly felt too loud. I forced a chuckle. Vegas, huh? Sounds dangerous. Her smile deepened. Come on, it'd be fun. You could even invite Mike. He's always up for a crazy trip. That name hit me like cold water. Mike. My best friend. My business partner. My brother in everything except blood. I set the knife down, wiped my hands, and stared at her. Funny you mention Mike, I said slowly. He's already been to Vegas recently. You know that, right? The way her smile flickered, just for a heartbeat, was all the confirmation I needed. The silence that followed wasn't loud. It was suffocating. I heard the faint hum of the refrigerator, the drip of the faucet, her breathing, quicker now, uneven. She opened her mouth, but I beat her to it. Yeah, I said, forcing a calm I didn't feel. He showed me some pictures. Seemed like a good time. Although, I tilted my head. You looked like you were having more fun than he was. Her coffee mug trembled slightly in her hand before she set it down. What are you talking about? She asked. Too fast. Too defensive. I didn't answer immediately. I just watched her. The woman I had loved for 10 years. The woman whose laugh could fill a room. Whose scent still lingered on my shirts when she hugged me goodbye each morning. And yet now, sitting across from her, everything felt foreign. Mike and I had a little talk, I finally said. He told me some things. Her face went pale, then flushed. You're being ridiculous. I stepped closer. Am I? She crossed her arms, eyes darting toward the window, then back to me. You really think I'd cheat on you? With your best friend? I think you did, I said quietly. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Just a small broken sound. For a few seconds I almost believed she might cry. I almost wanted her to, but she didn't. Instead, she straightened her back, her voice trembling but sharp. If you're that paranoid, maybe you should look at yourself. Always so busy with work, always too tired. Maybe I just needed attention. It wasn't a confession. It was an excuse. And it sliced deeper than a truth ever could. I turned away before she could see my eyes burn. The walls of the kitchen felt too close, the floor too still. My chest ached with the kind of pain that feels like drowning without water. Mike told me everything, I whispered. That was a lie. Mike hadn't told me anything. I just needed to see how she'd react. Her silence was the answer. I walked into the living room, pacing like a ghost trapped in a memory. Every photograph on the walls mocked me. Our wedding, our trip to Italy, her head on my shoulder during the beach sunset. Moments that once felt eternal now looked staged, counterfeit. She followed me. You don't understand, she said, her voice cracking. Then help me, I snapped. Help me understand why the woman I trusted most thought Vegas was the place to forget she was married. She stepped closer. I could see tears now streaking her makeup, making her look both guilty and fragile. It wasn't supposed to happen. We were drunk. It was one night. He said it didn't mean anything. He said. I echoed. So you talked about it afterward? Her breath hitched. The admission hung between us, heavy and undeniable. I hate myself for it, she said, her voice barely a whisper. I thought if I pretended it didn't happen, it would go away. I stared at her, my pulse pounding in my ears. I wanted to scream, to throw something, to make her feel even a fraction of what I felt. But all I could do was whisper. And him? Does he hate himself too? She shook her head weakly. He told me not to tell you. He said it would ruin everything. I thought I could protect you. Protect me. The irony was too much. I laughed. A hollow, bitter sound that didn't belong to me. Protect me? By lying to me? By sleeping with him and pretending nothing changed? Her tears came harder now. Please, it was a mistake. Yeah, I said softly. But it's one you made together. She reached out, her hand trembling. We can fix this. We can get help. Therapy, anything. I stepped back. No. You don't fix betrayal. You just learn how deep it cuts. The house was silent again except for her sobs. I picked up my keys, my hand shaking, and walked toward the door. But before I opened it, something made me stop. Mike's face flashed in my mind, the way he'd looked at her during our last dinner together. The small, unspoken glances I'd ignored. The sudden excuses. The trips. "Do you love him?" I asked quietly without turning around. Her silence was louder than any answer. That was it. The final fracture. I left the house. The cold air outside hit my face like punishment. I didn't know where I was going. Only that I couldn't breathe inside that house anymore. Hours later, I sat in my car by the water, the city lights trembling on the waves. My phone buzzed. A text from her. "Please come home. I can explain more." Then another. "Mike's gone. He said he couldn't live with it anymore." I froze. My heart kicked hard against my ribs. I called him. No answer. I drove to his apartment. The lights were off. The door was locked. Then I saw it. A folded note wedged between the doorframe and the wall. My name written across the front. My hand shook as I opened it. "I'm sorry, brother. I never meant to love her. I never meant to hurt you. Tell Sarah I forgive her. I couldn't face you both. Goodbye." The paper slipped from my fingers. My chest caved in. I screamed, the sound tearing out of me like something feral. By the time the police arrived, it was too late. Back at home, Sarah's face was drained of all color when I told her. She collapsed to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. I stood there, numb. Betrayal had started with a lie in Vegas. It ended with a body in the river. And as I looked down at her, shattered and broken, I realized the cruelest truth of all. We were both guilty, just in different ways.